the spookiest things of all is getting the slide ready. You know, I go, hey Ron, how you doing?
Great.
There's so many different ideas about how to do this job. And some are great, and some aren't so great. A lot of this is dependent on the kind of slide you got to. You know, you got a good slide, this works. For any of you, incidentally, who have what you consider a troublesome slide and would like me to look at it, after I do this little procedure here, I would be delighted to do some search and destroy on it. Okay? And then let me show you what I'm going to do here. First off, the first prerequisite is to have a clean slide, which I have. That's a start. Some people clean their instruments once a month, whether it needs it or not. Okay? You at least got to get the big chunks off, right, to start with. Now, what I have here is not, you're supposed to have cheesecloth, okay? Now, I don't have it. What I did is ripped up one of my wife's towels in a strip about this wide, and I barber poled it up along here. This is supposed to be covered up, okay, legally, all right? But since I'm very careful about this procedure, and this is something that I do, you can go down to Orange County and pay a guy $99 for this little procedure that I'm about to show you. He uses some chemicals and some other stuff here, but I do this until I feel a slide starting to get warm in my hand. It's starting now, okay? What it really does is it sort of buffs off a lot of impurities and stuff that's really kind of built up in there. It might even smooth out a few little minor dents. Who knows? Okay? Now, I turn it over and do the other side here.
Do this each time before you perform?
I do this every day, sometimes twice a day. If I've got 2 performances, I'll do it before each performance. It's not too much, really, to ask for a real smooth slide. I'll do anything. I will kill for a smooth slide. Now I blow whatever has gotten in there in the way of lint. Now let me explain this to you guys. I'm not an advocate of, what do we call it? Exotic slide preparations. I use plain old Pond's cold cream, which I keep in this little jar here. The only reason I keep it in this little jar is so it will fit in here. So I keep scooping it out and I put it in here. Now you see this amount I'm using here? Looks like a lot, doesn't it? But what I'm going to do is I'm going to evenly distribute this between upper and lower slide. I'm just putting it on the stocking section here. Now I guarantee you, unless you have a slide which has got a lot of dents in it, I can drastically improve the efficiency of your trombone slide if you give it to me. I don't give it to me. Use it. Okay. Now I sort of just spread this around here fairly evenly. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to put this thing on here dry. I'll reverse the top. You know, my top and bottom slide are the same slide. So I'll put this on here. And what I'm doing is I am gathering up on the inside of the outer slide a little film of cold cream. That's why I'm putting it on dry. Basically, it will collect very nicely here. I'm actually doing this first because I didn't have a chance to do this before I left the house. So this is a very convenient opportunity to do this routine. But you notice I'm just spreading it around here so that it gets there. Now I'll do the other one. And after I've done with this, I'll reverse them. So just get an even spread. Okay. Now I'll put the regular slide where it belongs and do it again. This may seem like a lot of stuff to you. Some of you, I can see on some of your faces, I'll be damned if I'm going to do this. And for those of you who will be damned if you do this, you can basically, God bless you. You can really just basically, if you like, get yourself a jar of pledge. Clean off your slide, spray the pledge on the inner slide, then hit it with water and put your slide on if you really want to. Now look at this. Now I'm going to take everything I've done off of here. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the bare minimum in. Hardly anything. Just going to make a little light film here. It doesn't even hardly even amount to anything. But it's just enough. What I'm doing is supplying a nice little ball bearing for myself. You know? You can't even see what I've got on here. But I'm coming up about 1.5 inches beyond the stocking here. Some smart dude back here is videotaping this, so he's going to have it all down for himself so he can see this. But I guarantee anybody who has a slide that they're not happy with, and it's not loaded with all kinds of dents and stuff, I will hand it back to you and you will not recognize it. So, remember, this guy in Anaheim charges you about $99 for this. I'll do it for nothing. Now, we hit it with the water. Distilled water. This will be pretty good. Of course, whether the horn playing or not. This, by the way, is about a close to 60-year-old Bach Stradivarius. This was made back in New York, up along, before they got to Mount Vernon. This is a pre-Mount Vernon Bach. These are very hard to find, but it's a typical example of the workmanship of these instruments. It's pretty much the same now. I've got a couple of newer ones. I've got a 36 with a lightweight slide that I use when I'm playing legit music, you know, which is fabulous, absolutely wonderful. It's one of those that has a solid silver bell. It's not a hard silver, it's a very soft silver, and it's pure. So we started making some of the trumpets with that. Now that's a pretty good slide. You can hold your slide on the slightest angle and have it do that. You got a pretty good slide. If it goes, that's a rotten slide. You don't want a slide like that. I'm going to leave things here because in a little bit I'm going to have some volunteers come up with the horns, and I'm going to do this thing for you here. Now, did you all get the routine? This looks really filthy, doesn't it? That look gross? It doesn't matter because I don't put anything on. I just put it through dry, and I just pretty much polish the inside of the slide. And I do this, like I say, I do this twice a day, and it works wonders, you know, for me, you know.